All right, let's talk about something that trips up almost every investor at some point. It's a dangerous little blind spot in our financial thinking called the 50% loss trap. It's really just a simple math problem, but getting it wrong can cost you big time. So let's dive right in and unpack this, because understanding it is absolutely critical if you want to protect your money.
Okay, I'm going to start with a question for you. Just a quick gut check. Imagine you have an investment and it just gets hammered. It drops by 50%. Now, to get back to where you started, just to break even, what percentage gain do you need? I bet your first thought is 50%, right? A 50% loss needs a 50% gain. It seems perfectly logical, perfectly symmetrical. But what if I told you that your gut is dead wrong?
And that right there, that's the heart of the trap. That simple, logical answer feels right, but it's not. It's because our brains just love the idea of symmetry. But when it comes to your money and percentages, well, the math works in a very, very different way.
So here's the key idea. Our brains are hardwired to think that a step down is basically the same as a step back up. You lose $10, you find $10, you're even. Simple. But in the world of investing, that's not how it works at all. Thinking this way is a huge mistake because you totally underestimate how much damage a big loss actually does, and you overestimate how easy it's going to be to climb back. You know what? To make this crystal clear, let's stop talking about abstract percentages and let's tell a little story. Just imagine your money is standing at the edge of a really deep hole. This is going to show you exactly why the math gets so weird. Okay, so picture this. There you are, you've worked hard, you've saved up, and you're starting with a nice, clean $100. You're on solid ground, feeling pretty good, ready to make that money grow. This is our starting line. This is our break-even point. And then, bam, it happens. The market just tanks and your investment gets sliced in half. A 50% loss. You've basically just fallen into that deep hole. It's a serious drop, and that solid ground you were just on, yeah, that's way, way up above you now. And this is where you land. Your $100 is now only $50. And that's not just a number on a screen, that's your new reality. Your starting point has completely changed. You're literally at the bottom, looking up. So let's ask that question again, but from down here. You're at $50. What kind of climb does it take to get back to that solid ground of $100? Well, think about it. If you make a 50% gain on your new $50, where does that put you? Only at $75. You're still stuck in the hole. So, what's the real answer? Okay, let's get into the actual numbers. This is where the trap really shows itself. And honestly, this is probably one of the single most important things you can learn about protecting your money. This is where it gets real. And here it is, plain and simple. If you lose 50% of your money, you don't need a 50% gain. You need a 100% gain. You have to double what's left just to get back to where you started. That's the brutal, unforgiving asymmetry of a big loss. And just look at how this problem gets worse the deeper you fall. You know, a small 10% loss, that only needs an 11% gain to recover. It's manageable. But a 25% loss, now you need a 33% gain. And there's our magic number. A 50% loss demands that 100% gain. And look at this. If you're down 75%, you need a staggering 300% gain just to get back to zero. The climb out gets exponentially steeper. This visual just says it all, doesn't it? That bar on the left, that's your 50% fall. And the bar on the right, that's the mountain you have to climb to get back to even. They are not equal. They are not even close. Seeing it like this, it makes it pretty hard to forget, right? The journey back is twice as long as the fall. We can call this the nonlinear nightmare. It's just a simple way to remember that the relationship between losing money and making it back isn't a straight line. It's not one-to-one. It's a curve that gets terrifyingly steep really fast. The more you lose, the more of a hero you have to be just to break even. So, what do we do with this kind of scary information? We use it. We use it to build a much smarter strategy. See, this isn't just some boring math lesson, it's a huge strategic insight. It explains why, in the long game of investing, playing good defense is way more important than having a flashy offense. This right here is the core philosophy. Just let this sink in for a second. If you lose half your money, you have to double what's left just to get back to zero. This is why protection is the ultimate strategy. Yeah, chasing those huge gains feels exciting, but you know what really builds wealth over time? Avoiding those huge, devastating losses.
So why does this matter so much to you personally? Because every big loss, what investors call a drawdown, is a massive setback on your journey to financial freedom. A 50% loss doesn't just cut your portfolio in half. It can add years, maybe even decades, to the time it takes you to reach your goals. It steals your single most valuable asset, time. So let's just frame this as two totally different mindsets. You've got the offense first player who's always chasing huge gains, making high-risk bets, trying to get rich quick. Then you have the defense first player. They're focused on something much smarter, avoiding huge losses, managing risk, and making sure they don't get completely wiped out. The goal isn't just to win. It's to stay in the game long enough to win. Okay, knowing all this is great, but let's actually turn this knowledge into action. Let's talk about your first defensive play, a practical little small win that you can start using in your own thinking like right now. Here's your new checklist. It's a new way to think. Step 1, just acknowledge the trap. Say it out loud to yourself. Gains and losses are not equal. Step 2, prioritize protecting what you already have. Your current capital is your most important tool. Step 3, understand the risk of any investment before you put a single penny into it. And step 4, play the long game. The absolute best way to win is simply to not lose big. So, I'll leave you with this question. Now that you truly understand the 50% loss trap, what's one risk, just one, in your financial life that you can reduce today? Give it some real thought. Because playing good defense, that's the first step to actually winning your financial future. Thanks for listening.